Nathan took off galloping down the road, as Baelor took in a deep breath and sprinted after his friend, desperately trying to keep up with the blistering pace. According to the ancient laws of the Doom faction, when one of their kingdoms was chosen to hold a trial, all of their fiefdoms would summon their young warriors to each of their local capitals in order for their numbers to be officially counted. One could only participate in the trial if they personally went to be counted as a competitor. Therefore, as Nathan and Baelor made their way close to Godricshall, they soon found themselves surrounded by a slow trickle of other young warriors making their way into town as well. When they were halfway through their journey, Baelor wiped the sweat from his brow and begged Nathan to take a quick break in order for him to catch his breath. As Nathan waited patiently for his friend to recover from his run, he watched other noble sons and daughters of the rural lords ride past them into the capital. "Nathan, have you any water?" Nathan tossed Baelor a water skin, and his mind began to drift once more to the challenges ahead of him. After all, he would now be in close contact with Duke Godricson once again. After his run-ins with Rodric, he was certain they might soon find themselves in the midst of trouble. Suddenly, another familiar voice cut through his ruminations. "Who is that over there? Could it be the demon Knight of Darkness himself? Looks like we all better give up on any dream of that first-place position." Nathan smiled as he and Baelor turned to see Stewart Lightstone and Sarah Hale approach them on horseback. Both of their families held lands just outside of the capital city, and it was no surprise that they would travel back into town together, given how close both of their families were. Nathan even suspected from the way Stewart and Sarah rode together that perhaps there was some unspoken spark between them. He sensed both of their heartbeats were elevated. However, he did not wish to say anything to make the two of them uncomfortable. "Stewart, Sarah, nice to see you both again. Both of you remember Baelor from the Academy of the Mystic Blades, right? He's a warrior from my village who wishes to compete with us in the trial." Baelor was still catching his breath, but he waved a sweaty hand toward both of them. "My Lord Lightstone, my Lady Hale, it's an honor to be in your presence. Apologies for my current condition." Stewart Lightstone laughed lightly at Baelor's condition. "No worries there, Baelor. It seems you're being trained by the greatest young warrior in all of Godricshall. I must admit, I'm a little jealous. I didn't leave the academy when you did." Sarah Hale smiled pleasantly at Baelor, then turned to Nathan. "Come, let us four journey the rest of the way into town together. Perhaps this time we can make it the whole way without Nathan nearly killing one of us." Nathan laughed. "You jest, Sarah, but somehow it seems that danger likes my company. I'd love for both of you to join us for the rest of the ride. But where is Sir Ian? I'd have thought he'd wish to compete as well." "Unfortunately, my brother is too old to take part in the trial." "Oh, what a shame. I had wished to see him out there." Stewart Lightstone then motioned out toward the direction of Dunshire. "Yes, it is. However, I don't think he'll be too upset. After all, it gives him more time to spend with a certain lady from the town of Dunshire." "Yes, your brother does seem to love to casually drop by and visit our little hamlet quite frequently. No matter, I'm sure all four of us have what it takes to make it into the final 100. Anyways, we best get going. Let's do our families proud and show them what we're made of." With that, the three noble offspring rode off in an excited gallop towards the distant walls of Godricshall. Baelor sighed as he squirted water in his mouth one more time, then raced off after them at full speed. Despite his big talk, he knew the days ahead would be brutal, and he did not wish to make Nathan regret his decision to take him along for the journey. Although the Doom faction trial was a once-in-100-years event, it only really mattered to the youthful warriors of the country, and was not an easy thing to spectate. Therefore, the energy in Godricshall was less overwhelming than it had been during the student spiritual warrior examinations and the aristocracy challenge. It wasn't that the citizens of Calandria didn't value the trial, but it was simply a strict and secretive process that few were allowed to watch. Therefore, talk around town buzzed with news of the upcoming trial, but there was no real fanfare when the young warriors arrived in the city. As best, occasionally, a commoner would approach a group of warriors and ask them what they thought of their chances in the trial. Considering the odds were greatly stacked against most warriors, betting on the outcome of the trial was a popular way to engage with the event, and this was done frequently and with great enthusiasm throughout the city. As soon as the new crop of young warriors arrived, dozens of bookies would race from the city gates and call out their number odds to the folks who waited to fork over their money in the commoner taverns and in back alleys. These were the places where huge sums were won and lost each and every day, and it was well known that some lords even visited to place bets on their kin. Therefore, the energy was a bit subdued when Nathan, Stewart, Sarah, and Baelor came through the front gates of the city. Although a few passing citizens glanced in their direction, the youths were mostly left unbothered by the common folk of the city. Despite this, they soon realized that part of this lack of interest was the sheer number of warriors that arrived in the city each and every day. Unlike in the aristocracy examinations, warriors from all backgrounds could compete in the trials, so long as they were under 20 and had confidence in their spiritual fighting strength. For many, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to catapult their status from a low-born peasant warrior to a legendary member of the Doom faction, or even a duke of the realm. Thus, thousands of stern-faced youths poured into the city each day and anxiously practiced their moves in their hotel rooms as they waited for the trials to begin. As the four of them made their way through the bustling main streets of the city, they quickly stabled their horses and headed towards Godricshall Plaza, where they would officially announce their entry into the trial. From there, once all competitors had been counted, they would marshal up together in a few days and make the day-long journey together to the kingdom's capital city of Calandriana. Only after all fiefdoms' warriors had managed to gather together there, the actual trial would begin. As they quickly weaved through the heavy foot traffic, they couldn't help but size up all the other warriors they passed along the way. The sheer number of competitors felt more than a little overwhelming.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.